Hello, everyone. I'm SuiLin. Thank you for joining this session. From product to business, elevating from product lead to head of product. Before we dive in, please drop in chat where you're joining from and what you're looking forward to learn from this session. During the session, feel free to drop your questions and comments in chat too. Today, I'm excited to share my learnings from a product leader at Google and Facebook to the head of product of data and AI at Warner Brothers Discovery. This transition has been exhilarating, but not easy. I figured out things on the fly and stumbled upon insights along the way. I wish I had this playbook. This talk aims to make this transition easier for you. To kick things off, I'll share my journey to give you background on where I'm coming from. I love building and growing businesses that deliver transformative impact at scale, where my journey has been inspired by customer insights and connections. I started my career as a strategy consultant and data scientist at Harvard Business School, where I helped companies in emerging markets grow. I saw firsthand my clients' pain points storing, protecting, and analyzing their data. Hence, I joined Dell to grow their portfolio of offerings that solve these problems. I drove the adoption of machine learning across sales and product, as well as operations and support. Then moved into product management to increase our big data storage business by 4 times. Later, I joined Facebook to scale their business analytics suite to empower businesses big and small to grow with insights about their Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger organic and paid investments. When I left, this was Facebook's business app with the highest ratings and retention. At Facebook, I partnered closely with consumer clients, and this really inspired me to transition from B2B to B2C. That's when I joined Google. I had an amazing adventure building and growing our consumer and enterprise video communication products, including serving hundreds of millions of people through COVID and hybrid work. I was having a blast when I was recruited by Warner Brothers Discovery to build the product management function for the data and AI organization from the ground up. I now oversee full stack engineering, operations, and governance. Every day, my team uses data and AI to delight customers, to deliver profitable growth, and to define the future of world-class storytelling with data and AI. It has been a thrilling journey thus far, and I'm eager to share 3 mindsets that I found helpful navigating and thriving in this transition, from product lead to head of product. First, be a co-founder. Second, be an investor. Third, be an architect. A recurring theme you will see throughout this talk is the shift of your thinking from product to business, hence the name of this talk. This is because when you're the head of product, your manager and peers may not have product management experience. However, they are highly opinionated about the product portfolio. So let's start with be a co-founder. When you are the head of the product management function, it is critical that you establish trust with your manager and act like a co-founder, regardless of whether you were there part of the company from the early days or not. During the interview and first 90 days, I spent hours with my manager and peers understanding why we exist, where we come from, and aligning on where we want to go. As a member of the leadership team, we are part of this founding story. I didn't realize how critical this mind meld was until a few months in, when my team was in constant fire drills and I was exploring ways to explain the opportunity costs and delays in important but less urgent initiatives. The big aha moment happened when I grounded these tough conversations about trade-offs with the vision and roadmap we co-created together. The conversations have been so much easier with the shared language, and the fire drills are not inevitable. Second is to treat your executive peers as your first team, where your first team are your peers rather than the people who are directly reporting to you. When you problem solve together well, your teams will automatically work well together. If you are divided, the fractions will show throughout the business and even the product. You and the business win and fail by how well you partner and enjoy working together. Often as the product function, you serve as that glue of the function. For example, when I first designed my org, I had two options. I ended up picking the org design that my team wanted, but rather that my peers preferred and said they could explain to others. And that has made all the difference because I was able to establish strong, trusted partnerships and credibility with other functions. The third point is know your function's unique strengths, then align them with business value and visibility. As the head of the product management function, you define the value that product brings to the table. So deeply understand how you and your function fits in at the strategy table and complements your manager and peers in terms of values, superpowers, and blind spots. I mentioned earlier about our strength of co-creating this compelling storyline and vision. This is when my team became known to be a very strategic storyteller. We received compliments like, seeing you create slides is like watching Michelangelo at work. I ended up having to draw a line to say that creating beautiful decks wasn't as high impact as developing and shipping innovative capabilities for our customers and for the business, and getting buy-in that we rotate these tasks. So watch out for your strengths. The second mindset is be an investor. Since your manager and peers may not have product background, finance becomes your shared language of the business. So define your vision and strategy like a pitch deck for funding. Put yourself in the shoes of your current and prospective investors. Would you invest? Why should they invest in you versus another venture? How would you allocate your resources with this outside-in perspective? What would you say at the next round of funding? Remember, you're always pitching the business, whether it's to investors, to customers, and employees. For instance, as a head of product for data and AI, we think about how much we should invest in generative AI, which there's so much excitement on, versus other investments that improve retention, increase margin, expanses into new verticals, or even foundational investments such as the content knowledge graph that powers personalization and search, as well as modernizing our tech stack. Second point is, as product leaders, we obsess about our customers. But as you rise, you need to tie your portfolio and roadmap to P&L impact, not just customer outcomes. To do this well, become good friends with your head of finance. Understand your product's economics. Amidst a lot of flat budgets and budget cuts, I was able to secure a higher budget because my team was able to translate how each of our investments impacted retention, new subscriber logos, margins, etc. And third, keep up with the investing and macroeconomic climate. It's not just about helping the business money. It's about creating impact in the way that your investors value. Previously, the streaming business has been measured by subscriber growth, where it was growth at all costs. However, investors now demand disciplined growth, especially when the cost of raising capital is high. In light of this, we revised our investments to include initiatives where we prioritize high-value subscribers. The third mindset is be an architect. Design and iterate on your org like your business, and do the race with the team you have. When I first joined, our program management partner decided to redesign their charter, so I ended up inheriting operations as well. I was at the crossroads of defining the product management function as the first head of product while also enabling the business to execute. I ended up making a tough trade-off where I turned some of my product managers into program managers because what I realized was that building that one team culture and mindset was foundational to us reaching the next level. To manage expectations, I created a crawl, walk, run, fly roadmap with my manager and peers so that they understood the trade-offs that I was making and where longer term I wanted to take the function. I also made tough decisions where I realigned the organization when I inherited 5 different teams, when I aligned it based on 2 key principles, where our structure aligned with the strategy and that our staffing was people first. Because of that, I had 90% of my team either had new managers or new scopes. But remember that crawl, walk, run, fly roadmap that I had? That helped me actively manage expectations so that people understood where we were heading and they didn't feel thrashed. The second one is, as the head of the product function, you set the standards. You define what the role of the function is. What does exceptional work look like? And then you raise the bar through systems and gamification. The measure of success is not how many rockstar product managers you have, but rather, are you able to consistently deliver product success? One of the powerful tools I found was having a competencies matrix. Because as a head of function, you typically would have several product leaders or directors reporting into you. I used that competencies matrix to define what I expected out of each product manager at every level. We use that to drive consistency when my managers deliver feedback to each of the product managers. We also use the competencies matrix to map out where our overall org is strong and where are the gaps that we need to invest in coaching, in terms of training, as well as hiring. And third is a hard lesson that I learned, which is we as product managers and leaders prioritize by impact. I made the mistake before where I prioritized the business, but actually, when you're thinking between people and the business, I recommend moving fast on business. And the reason is because humans run the business. Initially, I prioritized sprinting on an ambitious launch, thinking that I could resolve the people issues later. But I was wrong because people issues were a lot harder to solve later because emotions had spiraled. And the secret to head of product job is to be a chameleon. Similar to a chameleon, adapt then shape the context that you're hired into. Every head of product job is different because it varies by the company stage, it varies by the organization's familiarity with product management, as well as the business model, whether it's B2B SaaS, consumer subscription, or even an ads-based business. So really understanding what the context you're hiring in is critical. Initially, when I first joined and was hired, I was told that I was an agent of change. I was here to bring in the tech DNA, the playbooks and best practices that I had developed at Dell, Google, and Facebook. However, I soon learned that to truly drive change within this organization, I had to develop a new playbook by understanding what it takes to succeed in Hollywood. Secondly, one of the lesser known chameleon superpower is actually being able to have this 360-degree vision, the ability to see what's ahead of them, but also to scan the environment for the future. As a head of product, to be able to succeed, we need to not just focus on delivering what's ahead of us, but also looking around the corner so that we can set up our organization for success in the future. You might be curious why be a chameleon and how do we stay authentic as we adapt to these changing environments? Being a head of a product is a high stakes job. And the reason is because we can see that the decisions we make have tangible impact on the trajectory of the business. So what's critical as we embrace this roller coaster is to stay true to our North Star of where we want to go and the non-negotiables along the way. In summary, having the mindsets of co-founder, architect, investor, and chameleon are key insights to being successful from elevating from a product lead to head of product. I hope this talk makes the ride for you a lot easier and more enjoyable because in the end, work should be fun. I wish you all the best in your future journeys, whether you make this transition to head of product or whether your career takes you to another destination. I look forward to continuing our conversation during the interactive session. Thank you for joining today, and I look forward to staying in touch. Here is my LinkedIn and Twitter. Thank you.